Hey, so today I already made the fresh apple cake, and now I'm making the butter cream topping to put on top. So in my pan right here, whoops, phone burner. In my pan I have 5 tablespoons, which I usually use 4 tablespoons, but I'm using 5 tablespoons of butter at room temp. And then we will add a cup of sugar to it. This is a half a cup, but takes 1 cup of sugar. Then it will take a half a cup of the evaporated milk. And I will make it be a good half a cup. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And again, it's good vanilla from Walmart that you can get. And the Hispanic Owl. And it's pure vanilla and it's good and cheap. So we're gonna want this to come to a boil, a complete boil. And then when it does, then we are going to have like a sauce to put over top of the cake. And when it starts to boil, bubble, then you want it to cook for about 2 minutes. So this video might be a little bit long, but turn it up a little bit so it gets to boiling. And then we'll turn it down. But this sauce is so delicious over top of that cake. It just helps make the fresh apple cake. Like, it's so good. I used to, when I make this sauce, I used to put it in a, in a little bowl and then just put it over every piece that you got. But now I've started putting holes with a fork in my cake and then drizzling it all over the top of the cake. That way, when somebody wants a piece of cake, they just have to get a piece of cake and put it in the microwave for just a couple seconds and warm it up. You can eat it cold too, the cake with the sauce, but I just like it warmed up for just a little bit, and it's so good. So, I got this recipe from one of my mom's good friends that made it one time when we were there. And I know I didn't say it while I was making the cake, but you can put nuts in the cake too if you want to. I can't eat nuts, so I don't put nuts in any of my desserts. But I mean, yeah, if you like nuts, you could put pecans or walnuts in the cake too before you bake it. So if you haven't seen my recipe or seen me make the fresh apple cake, go look for it, because this is the cream that goes over top of that cake. So we were at church working today. I'm just going to talk to you for a little bit while we're waiting on this to boil. So it's starting to cook, and so we're going to just try to let that cook and get really bubbly for 2 minutes. So we'll set the timer for 2 minutes. And we're at church helping out today. And I'm having some family from out of town over tonight, and our third of the daughters came home from college today. So I am, let's turn this this down a little bit, because when it starts to bubble, you don't want it to run over or make a mess, but you want it to have a good boiling. But our third daughter came home from college today, so she had about a 4.5 hour trip, and so she's looking forward to this cake again. Like I said, it's one of our family's favorite cakes, and it's not hard to make, it's simple to make. It just can take a little bit of time when you have to peel the apples and grate the apples and all that fun stuff. But it's delicious once you have it, and you will want to make this for gatherings and family functions and for friends, for church functions. It's just delicious. So here you are, see it's a full boil. You want to keep stirring it while it's in this boil stage, and you just really want all that sugar to dissolve. And sometimes I let it go a little bit over 2 minutes, like 2.5, 3 minutes, just to make sure it caramelizes a little bit. You can start smelling it, and it smells really, really good. And get all that sugar cooked out and all the ingredients going together yummily. Do one more minute. One more minute. Let's do 3 minutes instead of 2. I would encourage you to do the 3 minutes instead of the 2. I just feel like it gets it a little bit more caramelized than just the 2 minutes. So, and you'll get to see the cake, what it looks like when it's done, when we go over to put this on top of the cake. And like I said, you can serve it warm or you can serve it cool. And I always store any leftovers of the cake in the refrigerator. Some people don't. I've had people that have gotten it from me, ordered it from me, and they don't put it in the refrigerator. I do, just because it's a fresh apple cake and because of this topping. See how it looks? So yummy. Still bubbling a little bit. I'm going to get a hot pad out of here. Set it on. Well, we put holes in the cake. So this is the cake right here, what it looks like when it's done. So I'm just gonna, with a fork, just put some holes in it. A little slower in the middle because it's still very warm. You want to do it while the cake is still warm. You don't want the cake to be very cool. My fingers are clean, by the way, people. And I'm not really touching the cake. I'm just don't want it to come up with the fork. Well, that time I did, but just, yeah, I want to poke it. It's kind of like a poke cake, and you don't have to do it this way. You can just put the sauce in a little bowl and cut the cake, and then just drizzle the sauce over top of the cake when you slice a piece to eat it. But I like doing it this way. That way I don't have to worry about putting sauce over each individual slice of cake, especially when you're feeding a crowd of people. A lot of people don't even know that it's a fresh apple cake when they're eating it. They say you can't really taste the apples in it, but that's what it is. And then this is the sauce now that it's calmed down a little bit. And I'm just gonna go and just drizzle it all over top. I want to make sure it all gets drizzled over top. Every last bit of it. Might look like a lot, might look like you have a lot of extra, but use it all up. Use it all up because this is what helps make the cake. Make sure you get a lot in the middle because you know the middle is thicker. Thicker, and so it's going to take a little bit more in the middle than it does on the sides. But I want to thank each of you for watching today. And like I said, if you haven't found my cake recipe, go look for it, go find it, and watch that so you know how to make the cake, and then you have the topping. And there you go. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon, evening.